she has a friend over, so she was not fully committed to being able to jump on. So I told her that I would send her the link later too. So okay, um, just sorry because I just remembered to hit record. So everybody who is a medium is psychic, but not everyone who is psychic is a medium. So it's like psychic energy being able to tap and tune into like what I see as like, veins to things, right? Like energetic possibilities, the way things feel, getting clarification versus being a psychic medium is somebody who intentionally goes, I'm trying to connect with this person who has physically lived, crossed over, and is no longer earthside. But they can still communicate because like the energy doesn't die, souls don't die. Just because people don't have a body does not mean that they can stop um, communicating. They just don't have a mouthpiece or vocal cords to be able to do that. And so people like me have, we come in and we're like, without it sounding like like a weird possession, right? It's just like letting someone take over the car or take over the radio station. And it's like, oh, here, you can borrow my car. You can use my body. You can use my voice. You can use, my own um, memories and frames of references. And we'll talk about building your spirit library, your spirit dictionary, um, because the way that it comes through sometimes is like what's that, like charades, where they're just like popping clues at you and they're showing you your great uncle so and so. And so then for me it's like, oh, they're showing me my uncle, so then that must mean that they have an uncle that's trying to come in and connect. Oh, okay, I am seeing my old boss that died, like uh I'm seeing a memory of her, so it must be somebody like this to them. Or I can have had a particular experience in my life and they'll use that for me to be able to like relate and empathize with somebody because I'm like, oh, okay, it's reminding me of this. And so a lot of it is just like really picking up on clues and piecing together like a puzzle. Um, it can get very frustrating too sometimes because you're like, I can see all of these signs in a day, and what are these for? And then you go to the store and the cashier starts talking to you and you're like, oh my God, they start validating like the stuff that, you've seen or done throughout that day, like for the signs. So the clairs, these are just like real basic ones. They have more like deeper ones than this, but the clairvoyance, for me, since I'm a visual artist, I tend to be more clairvoyant with how my information comes through. So I see things in my mind's eye, and I see it like a memory, or I'll see it like if you close your eyes right now, and I'm going to tell you, okay, now see a hill of grass. All right, now walk over to that hill of grass and you're going to look down and you're going to see a basket. And inside of that basket, it's full of sharpened pencils. And when you pick up this sharpened pencil, there's going to be an inscription written on the side of it. And you turn to it. And it's like I can take you through this like mental journey, right? Of like what that looks like. Now, when spirit comes in, it's faster than that because I'm busy telling you the words and how to create this environment of what you're seeing. They can transfer that information in the flash very telepathically. Sometimes you also get like flashes like a movie, or sometimes you might be able to like see the dreams. Like if you're a very vivid dreamer, I like to pay attention to the signs and the clues that come in through dreams that way. um, Clairaudience. This one is not one that happens to me super often, but it just started happening to me more recently. The more I go down my family tree and start digging into my genealogy, I started hearing, like I heard a man's voice the other day. I heard Zanaya, what I could have swore was her, like humming in her room, like a piece, like a violin piece. And in the morning, I was like, "Oh, I heard you." Blah 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 blah. She was like, "I was asleep. Like I was asleep at that time." And blah 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 blah. And So that was weird, but we are like, okay, we kind of chalked it up to maybe she was like playing violin in her sleep or whatever. But then this morning, um, I'm sorry, yesterday morning, Ezra was with me and she was at her dad's. But what woke me up was I heard her say, Mom. And I was like, and then I'm like, oh, okay, there's no school today. Oh, she's not even here today. And then I'm like, I heard it. So that is the clairaudience. When it comes through, I have heard gunshots in places, or when I've traveled. Like I remember being in Italy in a very, very old like town that had like the brick everywhere. And I, even though there wasn't a lot of people physically there at the time with me, I can almost like just what I would just describe as like hearing the echoes of the past, hearing conversations or hearing horse, like that type of sound where it's almost like a residual sound. Um, or sometimes like songs will pop into my head. Like if I'm doing a reading for somebody and I'm like this one lady, all of a sudden, like I looked at a photo of her grandpa and I started hearing a Frank Sinatra song specifically, right? Like I'm like, but not just any song. It was like Fly Me to the Moon or whatever. And so I said that and she's like, that's exactly the song we were dancing to in that photo when that photo was taken. Because she's like, that was the song we danced together at my wedding too, and blah 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 blah. So that's how spirit will also use clear audience that way. So you're like, oh, okay, cool. Another fun thing, I like to try to incorporate these and the verses. It's a song game, but it's like a bunch of song cards, or doing like Spotify shuffle, grabbing a day list on Spotify and then asking spirit or asking your loved one that you want to come through, like, hey, talk to me through music, talk to me through songs, especially if you had a very deep connection to music with this person or they absolutely love music. Because what they loved in the life is what they're still gonna, be able to use in this life or, beyond the life to communicate. So if somebody was a big chatty person, don't be surprised if all of a sudden you're sitting at a restaurant and you're trying to tap into somebody and think about your loved one that you want, and you're like, oh, they were a big talker, and all of a sudden the volume around you starts going up and you start hearing everybody chat 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 chat, chat. Like it's like you just pay attention to the subtle influxes of like how energy moves when you're thinking of that person. Clairsentience, that's the clear feeling. I get this one very strongly and clearly as well. This is the ability to sense or feel emotions, energies, or the physical sensations. Like I talk about, like I had a friend who, before I found out he died, I felt in my chest like heart palpitations. I thought about him, and my son had brought me this book and read me something that was almost word for word something that this guy had said to me. It was a story about big dog, little dog. And I was like, oh, I wonder how this person is. And then I started getting like hard to breathe and heart palpitations. And then the next day I saw it on Facebook that he died of a heart attack. So it was like my body was feeling him and getting the signs that way. Um, like uh it didn't hurt. Okay. So I don't want it to like be a scary thing for some people. Like they're like, I don't like, what if they got shot? It's like, okay, if that happens for me, it's more of a visual, like I see something that happens. So this is like building up your spirit dictionary, right? Okay, spirit, when I talk to a soul that's crossed over that died in this way, let this be my sign for that. Like, if they died in a gunshot, show me them snapping their fingers really fast and showing me that it was sudden and quick. Or if they died from cancer or an overdose or an accident, like, show me these things so that I know, like, we're talking in symbols now and it's happening very quickly. Um, Yeah, what else? Feeling emotions, so that the clairsentience, the feeling of the emotions is really big too, because if you already notice that you can walk into a room and sense the emotional like energy of that place, it's it can be like, it can wreck your nervous system because first of all, you might not know where is it coming from, who's this, but you just know it's not yours. And that can get like super overwhelming if you're not like cleansing, grounding, or if you're taking things on thinking it's yours, but it's really other people's energies like latching onto you in a way, right? Um, in terms of mediumship, the ability to just like feel the love that somebody has for another person or feel the anger or feel the disconnect because you can just sit in something and ask them like, okay, let me feel what your relationship was like with the person I'm reading for, right? And all of a sudden I can feel just this wave of like sadness or grief come over me and I know it's not mine. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So right before they died, there must have been like, this, or you start piecing together the clues that they're leaving for you. Claircognizance. This one is the clear knowing. And this is tough because it's just knowing things without knowing how you know it and not being wrong. Okay. This is a thing that if you are strong with your claircognizance, a lot of people may come to you for advice without even knowing why they come to you for advice because you're the one that just knows things. Um, this is like when people ask me like certain clarification questions. Do you see the outcome of this or this? Or should I blah, 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 blah. Like I have trained my intuition to say, if this is a yes answer, let me see a green. And on this half of my mental screen, I might be like green or red or yes, no, right? So that in my mental movie screen, when someone's asking me a question, I just instantly, spirit's like, bing, bang, like, but you can make it whatever you want for your spiritual library and your thing. And I call this like intuition on demand. And it's not an original term. I learned it like years and years and years ago. And being able to not use it like a party trick, but just use it in an efficient way so that you don't always need to sit and do this really long ritual just to sit and do a meditation. Like, I have people that will stop and text me and be like, "Hey, I just real quick, yes or no." And then I'll just instant hit like yes, but and then I might get additional information or sometimes spirit might just say, "Nope, solid no." Whatever it is, I have no idea and I'm like, I got a very very solid pushback. So it's like always knowing and being aware of how you feel and then knowing your baseline of who you are so that anything outside of that baseline is going to tell you about the spirit or the energies that you're working with. Does that make sense? Um Being claircognizant also kind of sucks because it can come across like you're a know-it-all. And there's often times where I still am human, but I want to make sure I'm also packaging up a layer of like, hey, this is what it feels like for me. But like nothing is ever super set in stone. I think there's still some fluidity to decisions and like detours of how people can get to where they are. And sometimes like, you know, sometimes people just want to hear what they want to hear, right? And so you can come in with the tough love and be like, I get this as a solid blah, 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 blah. And they're like, and you're like, hey, but do what you want to do. This is your life, right? Um, Clairalience, clear smelling. So this is the ability to smell stuff that isn't physically there. This is people who can smell the whiff of cigarettes. I have smelled my grandfather's soap, like it's Yardley of London, and it's like this lavender soap. And I've gotten whiffs of that the same day I go to text my mom and sister about it. They're like, they each had experiences with smelling flowers with what they were doing or where they were at. Um, when you are doing it intentionally with that intuition on demand, though, um, some people get this really strong. It's not like my number one thing for me. And sometimes I've also gotten whiffs of really disgusting smells, like putrid, like almost like, and that's in the living too. Like I can walk past somebody and be like, oh God, like their soul stinks. Um, so just pay attention to the smells of all sorts and the tastes. The clairgustance is the ability to taste something without having it in your mouth. So I have tasted metal like blood. I've tasted like pills or chalkiness in my mouth when tapped into someone. I've tasted sweets. I had someone that drowned that I tapped into their energy and my mouth filled up with water. Like it just started watering really bad. Um, so that's the clear tasting. And then the clear tangency, which I never really knew the name for that one, but psychometry is what I've known it as. That's when you have the ability to just like, you know, hold something that was somebody else's. Um, when I do readings in person, I tell people bring me either a photo or an object that they owned, because if it's something that they owned, like there's still an energy that taps into that person. This is also fun to practice if you go to, you know, if you want to carefully do it through thrift stores or antique stores or something that has a verifiable way to like see the history behind it. Like if maybe you can even go to like a really old library that maybe they have the records of who owned that book first or something, and you can always like feel it, close your eyes, see like, oh, tell me about the owner. Um, I like to talk to spirit just like if I were to talk to Google or Chat GPT or something, if I'm like feeding it because I need it to answer the question, right? Tell me more about the person that owned this, right? I'm like typing it into my spiritual chat box. Okay, um, show me about them. Show me, about the memory or what they were tied to, or show me how they died, show me how they lived. Um, or you go through each of the clairs too, where you're like, okay, I can checklist this and go show me, right? Like clear seeing, clear audience, send me a song or send me an audio, let me hear, or help me just to understand. I like to use that when I'm talking to spirit too. Just help me to better understand the story and the connection, right? Because a lot of the times the stuff that I see, like I said, I see things almost like a floor plan to a house. I don't always get to see like, oh, this is the entire perspective of the people that lived here and breathed and made memories and stuff like that. Any questions so far on this?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. Um, so hold on, where did the other doc go? And then this other document that is, I'm going to include in there. And we're not going to go through all these. I just want, like, I basically had it make a checklist of things that I already do, but organize it so that it wasn't like ADHD brain. Um,
That's me.
yeah, I basically, like, I know what I want things to say, but sometimes when I go to type them out, it's like the hard, long way of explaining something when I'm like, I just need you to, can you clean this up a little bit and make it clear and concise? And these are all just suggestions too. So hold on, I have to take a sip of my pineapple dragon fruit Chick-fil-A frosted thing that I let my daughter talk me into.
Ooh, that sounds so good.
It's all right. It's pretty good. I should have got just the lemonade though. I just was like, I'm thirsty and it's hot. So, all right. So you will be able to download these. So grounding and protection. So when I say protection, I don't go into anything spiritual. I'm not a fear monger type person. Um, Although I had my stint in the Christian church for a while where I was called and considered a witch of sorts because I was spiritual and this and that. And, because you weren't supposed to do mediumship in the church, I was evil and, all kinds of fun names like that. But really, I'm like, the stuff that I do for mediumship is to help people heal. And I know that I've had my own personal readings done and that it helped me heal exponentially faster by just getting a message from somebody that didn't know either of us, but yet they knew and connected into that person's spirit, people, because it was like a whole reading where they like brought in my whole family. Like it changed my life. And I had already started to like get these downloads from like my grandmother and her sister that had passed away. And I was already starting to tap into their energies. Like when I was meditating, I would see their faces and I would like hear things, see things. And I'm like, okay, something's happening here. Um, and then it just unfolded very organically. And I had, my best friend Shannon by my side, like who had already been on her spiritual journey. And she was a Reiki master, excuse me, an ex-scientist, professor, gone, totally left that world to go and do energy healing. So something I was like, okay, she's for real, right? She's not just like, oh, I'm mango, right? Or whatever that meme is. Like, um, and so I learned through her and I learned through practice that it's not a scary thing. I'm not tapping into anybody that I don't want to hear from. Um, and that's also my role with spirit was like, if this person does not want to hear from you, I will not deliver the message. So I don't deliver stuff like you'll never catch me like dropping messages at the grocery store, delivering a message from someone that used to sexually abuse this poor woman and they just feel the need to come apologize to her and she's like, what? Like, I don't want to hear from that person. So that's my deal. I don't, that's why I have people send me the photos or the names of people. And then sometimes other people might try to like join in, but it's usually a welcomed energy. Or like I'll set up, the the warehouse or the club and then there's a security guard that spirit has to go and like show ID and verify who they are to get in and that way or some people I know will imagine like when they're doing a reading for someone they'll imagine that they're at a house and that their dead loved ones have to come to the front door, knock on the door and ask to come in, and that way it's up to the person. It's still invitation. It's not like bombardment of souls and spirits of people you don't want to hear from. So that's just me personally. Like I said, I don't tap in and do weird things. I'm not doing Ouija board things or anything creepy because like I've had my experiences with that and I'm good. And I don't need any kind of negativity like that. So anything I do, I set the intention that when I connect into spirit and to deliver a message, it's for the best and highest good of all involved, and that the messages that come through are accurate and true. And so that's how I get grounded and protect. And it's not a big long thing. I personally like to like throw on an incense or a candle or something, just because I like to burn things. I don't know. Um, so these are just a couple things you could do to practice or see what you prefer, but you don't have to. You could do literally whatever you want to do. You could be like, oh, every time I throw this one bracelet on, that's my symbol for I'm in my protective bubble and ready to do readings. So it's whatever it is for you. Okay, spirit, every time I put my phone on do not disturb and get my cards out, that means it's time to sit down and do readings and I'm connected into you. Everything that comes in is accurate and true for the best and highest good of all involved, or whatever intention you want to set. So it's really about you and your intuition development. Aura expansion. So this is like remembering that your soul is not just attached just to this external body. It extends outward and it goes, and you can do breathing exercises and visualization exercises to kind of expand it outward and contract it in. Um, I'm not super complicated like that. I'm more of a, all right, I'm here to talk. I'm here to listen. You're here to talk. I raise my vibration. You got to bring yours down so we can kind of meet in the middle and use my voice, use my memories, use my spirit, use my body. Help me to deliver a message that's going to help heal. So this is stuff that you can journal, so you can take and go, all right, what has already happened in my life? These weird paranormal experiences that stuck with me, right? When have these other things happened to me? And that way you can start to piece together, like maybe your strongest gifts are this instead of this, right? Like, I don't want you to sit here and try to develop this very vivid imagination, you know, m- uh, movie board in your head if you like struggle with seeing things visually, right? Some people, I'm like, I know someone that can close their eyes and they just see black. And it's the weirdest thing. He's like, I have a really hard time even like reading books and visualizing things when reading books. So I'm not going to take and, so if that's not your strength, focus on where it is. Some of the other things too, you can do like automatic writing prompts. So when you are doing journaling, you can ask spirit or ask the person you're trying to connect with, hey, use my hand. So we're going to journal, whether you're scribbling or you're writing or you get a word that keeps coming in your mind, write it down, write it down, write it down, or type, just let it get into meditative state where you're just like in the free flow. I have seen it only like once or twice personally, where I've done it, where I've watched my hand move and it wasn't my own thoughts coming out. And then I was able to go back and reread it and it was a letter written to me. And it's not in that's something that I personally haven't been able to just do on demand again like that, the same exact way. It was a profound moment that was meant for like right then and there. And since then, I'm like, okay, that was really cool. Also kind of crazy because I'm like watching my hand move, but also like, holy shit, these aren't my thoughts coming out. Um, yeah. And then get your journals, spirit dictionary, symbol dictionary. Um, Okay, I'll let you guys go through these later. I want to get to the practicing side because I kind of went through all that verbally. All right. All right, everyone is in a comfortable position. Let me pull this one. This. All right, so do not scroll. Do not look past this screen, okay? Because we're just going to go one thing at a time. Oop, okay. All right, so I'm going to pull from the Mediumship Development deck and get an exercise for us first before we start looking at photos. So let's hold our intention that as we develop, we just exercise this like a intuitive muscle. It is safe. We are grounded. We are here to help heal ourselves and others through the ability to connect and receive and let everything be accurate and true and for the best and highest good of all involved. All right, our first prompt, close your eyes and visualize a rose. So, all right, take a deep breath. Exhale. I say the words to myself that I set aside all of my own opinions, thoughts, and emotions, and that way we can bring in the feelings of spirit when it's time to read for them. Okay, so now this, close your eyes and visualize a rose. Now, what color is the rose? Let's start with a deep red. So go to that place, change it to a deep, deep crimson red. Does it feel velvety? Can you feel the thorns? Can you turn it around? Can you detach it from the stem? Are there more than one? Is it a bouquet? Is it in a vase? Now I want you to change the color of the rose, and we're going to go from crimson to Snow White. And now we have a beautiful, beautiful pure white rose. Does the temperature feel different? Does the weight of it feel different? Does it smell different? Does it have a different feeling like a, instead of a romantic, passionate red rose, does it now feel like a symbolic friendship rose or forgiveness? And now we're going to take it from the white rose. And now let's go bright pink, bright peach, pinky, like a Lucille Ball rose. Very bright and vivid. This one you can tell gets so much sunshine. Smell it, touch its petals, detach it, sprinkle the petals on the ground, pick it up. So, how's that feel? Were you able to see it? That's how simple, like, that's like how it comes through, like in that part of the area where you see and envision things. Or is anybody also like, do you guys also struggle with the visualization thing? Oh, sorry, I didn't see that you had exited the room. Okay, so anybody who wants to respond, how was that to take and see the rose in your mind?
It's probably the hardest for me to see things, but it helps whenever like if I hear somebody describing it, it's easier for me to see it than if I just try to think about it myself and see it.
Fair. Yeah, it's it's definitely a muscle, and if it's a struggle, that's okay. Or if something else starts cultivating where you're like, while you're talking about the rose, I'm actually tasting it in my mouth instead. Pay attention to if anything comes through like that too. Okay, let's do the next one. That'll help like open up. All right. Okay. Channeling wisdom. So, right now, we're going to ask one of our spirit guides to connect in and to speak through us. Okay. And the way that we're going to do this is, well, again, if you're in a spot where you can close your eyes, we'll probably take like, I'm going to just do maybe 20, 30 seconds of silence. Um, you can imagine yourself, let's take us to a fire pit, and we're sitting around this fire pit together. And while we're sitting here, we're surrounded by the trees and the darkness and the stars, and the fire is glowing. We can feel it. And now we're going to ask our spirit guides to come walking in from the field, and just to come and walk in and sit down next to us at the fire pit. And let's go ahead and have them sit to our right side. And you can ask, like, okay, show me how you feel so I know when you're around. And this could be a guide where they may have never had a human incarnation. They have just been assisting you spiritually from the other side. This can be an angel that you connect and resonate deeply with. This could be a loved one or ancestor, whether you knew them or never met them, that has just continually been a part of your life for whatever reason to bring you wisdom and guidance. Okay, so we're going to ask this guide. Thank you for coming and sitting next to us. And telepathically, or they may even, what I see in my head right now is someone just reaching out their hand to gently touch my leg, and just ask that at this touch or at this instant, that they would impart any kind of wisdom or knowledge or clarity on something. And even if it's just one thing, that's okay. So we're going to take about 20, 30 seconds and just breathe and just trust anything that comes in. And then just when you're ready, open your eyes, take some notes if anything comes through, and we'll go from there. So go ahead and start now. Just breathe. So now you can ask, what do you want to share? What am I supposed to know and learn right now? Show me a sign or teach me something significant and help me to understand. Did anybody see anything, feel anything, or just even just seeing the presence of somebody in that space?
I felt immense warmth to my right.
Ooh. Did it feel masculine or feminine or anything like that?
It felt masculine and like really bright,
Did it feel ancient or like a newer thing or lighter?
ancient for sure.
Very cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Very cool. Now, were you able to connect in?
Yes.
Did you, did they say anything or did you hear anything or did you have any like understanding in that moment?
I heard them say, let go and free yourself.
Beautiful. Did you visually see what they look like? Sometimes to me it's just a feeling.
It was it was like I felt it was almost like if they were just like a ball of energy that was right next to me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, all right. Now that we've kind of opened up our, did anybody else want to share if they saw anything?
I do.
Okay, go right ahead. I'm gonna sip my drink.
So I hold on. Hi guys, Marjorie. uh at first I just felt like well my spirit guide who I thought of were like immediately like my grandparents, my grandmother and my grandfather, but my mom's mom and my dad's dad. But the one who stuck out the most was my grandmother. And I felt like I didn't see anything at
Okay.
first, but then could feel myself moving forward,
Mm.
or at least going down. Not, and I didn't feel scared. Like I was like, "Oh my god, where am I going?" Like it's like, but I kept seeing like glimmers of light, and even though I'm pointing my head up, I still can't exactly look up. And then I felt like I was again like I'm looking into like a dark deep darkness, right?
Mhm.
But I was calm, so I felt more like the ocean.
Ooh.
So that's probably like oh glimmers of light. Like I feel like I'm going underwater.
Oh, like the sparkles.
Yeah, and Hawaii's been calling me, so
Mhm.
I'm just like and fire sign I'm Aries, but like I feel the most healing in water, specifically the ocean. Lakes are cool, but like the ocean is I need mother.
So that might be your little quantum heat space that you go to meet your spirit guides. Some people will, in meditation, when they want to go meet their guides, Some people will go to like a garden or a meadow. When I want to connect into my stepmother who passed away, because she was like my Virgo energy, where we used to go and sit at her kitchen table, drink coffee. And this was back then, like sit and, she'd smoke her cigarettes, drink coffee, read the newspaper. And so you can set the stage for wherever you want to meet your guides and loved ones. You can meet them in the ocean because in your space it doesn't matter if you can breathe or not. It doesn't matter. It's your place of
Yeah.
peace and quiet where you can shut everything down. For me, I'm like when I need help and assistance, I'm like spiritually calling her, "Hey, meet me at the kitchen table. I need to talk." Some
Yeah.
people will do um a house or a library that they'll build out to meet their loved ones or their guides. So it's really cool. Like you can tailor it to whatever it means, whatever works for you. It's like no one size fits all.
Yeah, it was
Um,
nice. And like whenever I have trouble sleeping, I do have an ocean playlist with
oh,
literally just ocean waves. None of that like
when you come to town, I got to take you to go float. So
girl, I've been meaning to. I just haven't been out there. I make it to Disneyland, but
no, you got to come out here. So okay. Um, all right, everyone. If there was anyone else that wanted to share, go right ahead. If not, we're gonna just start jumping in. That way. Because I know some people got to probably jump off at 6. I think I put the event 5 to 6, but we think we went 5 to 7 last time. But if you have to leave, feel free to jump off whenever, and we'll just send you the link for it. But before we do the first photo, I'm not telling anybody to what order or which. And honestly, I don't even know these people's names. I know a couple of them, but I don't know details except for my own intuitive hits. But I don't know validation on some of these. Um, so before we start, we're going to pause, take your deep breath. This is where you're going to set your intention. Mine was whatever comes in is going to be accurate and true and for the best and highest good of all involved. Um, the biggest part about this, if you have an oracle deck or tarot cards, you can always use those in alignment when you're write down what intuitive hits or clues that you get. And then if you want like a clarification card or you go, hey, show me what energy this person is in tarot, that's when you can shuffle and pull a tarot card and see what comes up and see if that energy relates to the person that you're reading for. So this is like where, like I said, it's no one size fits all. And I don't even read the same person twice the same way because it's literally how it's all just coming in at that moment, like in the moment. Okay. So we did our breathing, we set our intention. Um, this first one that we have coming through, so close your eyes and you can ask your spirit guides or your loved ones, hey, help me connect in, help me bridge this gap, help me, provide a safe space for this communication or this download, this validation to come through, these messages. There's no pressure. There's no pressure of being wrong. Just write down what you observe, what you feel, what you see. If you taste anything, smell anything, if all of a sudden a song pops into your head, write it down, and we'll dig into how all of this comes through. Okay. So I'm gonna set a little timer. We'll just do like how long? 30 seconds, a minute? Is a minute too long?
doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. So I like to close my eyes. I feel like the visuals come through a little bit easier, but you do whatever you need to do. Um, Ready? And go ahead and start there. So now we're just taking notes on anything that comes through for this next person that we're about to tap into. Do you feel masculine, feminine energy? Do you feel the size of them, tall, short? Do you feel heat? Do you feel cold? Do you see their eyes? You can say, send me a song, send me a message, help me to understand how you lived, how you passed. And ask, what numbers, names, angel signs are significant to this person so that when they're around, what comes up? Too many. All right. So, did you guys write some notes? Before you do that, or before we talk about it, I'm going to show you the photo, and then I want you to tap in. And I honestly forgot what order I put these in, so I forgot myself. Now when we look at the photo, I like to look at their face, their eyes, and start to get more of the storyline and let them build on the first hits that you got already. And also share your gratitude. Thank you for communicating. Thank you for talking. And what's going to be interesting is like I might pick up something totally different than what you guys pick up. All right. So here's our first. Can I make it bigger? Ooh, okay. So now we're going to go through our second round of notes. Now that you can see his face, right? Show me, let me feel, let me connect. Like for me, I know I instantly felt the heat go up, like up my body, like instant. Like it wasn't
Yeah,
a drop where it was a cold thing. I know for me it was like super duper um, heat. So I don't know if anybody else felt that.
I did.
You felt the heat too?
I felt the heat, and then I saw an island.
I seen something. Uh, I seen if it looked like the sunset, but the sun looked huge.
Yeah.
Before I pulled the photo, the other thing that popped into my mind for this, and I don't know,
Hmm.
we'll have to double check with Catherine on this one because this one is one that Catherine did submit. So thank you for sharing. I actually saw a bridge in my mind, and it was like a rainbow bridge. And then I saw a dog with him. And so I didn't know if that dog was significant to the two of you or if that was a dog that greeted him from the other side. And then the song that my daughter just performed at her show popped into my head, and it was the Wayward Son song.
Mm.
So I needed to look up the lyrics for that one. And then I instantly felt the heat. Um, and then I had this like overwhelming, like, so it took over my emotions for a second where like it almost made me start crying. I could feel like the tears in my eyes just getting ready to because I felt this incredible wave of like just pure like love and somebody who just cares for people and
Hmm.
just like has this huge heart. Um, so that's what started to come through for me. And then I was gonna pull and see what energy comes through for tarot. Oh, and also show you. Let me grab a. There, can I attach the link? Generatormix.com. Let me see if I can post this link in the group chat.
The number 5 came to mind when you asked about numbers. It was first 4 a little bit, then 5, and then no 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. I was like, oh.
555 was my change the other day, and literally the kid walks out and he's like 555 angel numbers.
Aww.
Oh, I got 25.
Ooh.
That's interesting. So we'll have to look up the numerology for 5. What was I doing here? Random.
Generator.
Yeah.
Share it in the group chat.
Random image generator. So I will use this on my cell phone. I was hella old.
I know.
So
Teléfono.
maybe his energy was like very traditional or classic or fancy. I don't know. Oops. Okay. Hold on. Where is my chat? So I like to use, oh, everyone in meeting. Here we go. Random image generator. Um, I don't use it on a Google, like a Chrome. I use it like even on like DuckDuckGo, and I don't say anything out loud. I just say it in my head. So if I'm like send me a message or a connection, message from spirit, and then you like hit the generate button, and it basically pulls from thousands and thousands of royalty-free images, and then it'll provide some words at the bottom. And then I use my intuition to kind of see what energy comes up because spirit will use anything to talk. If you have a song playing, if you got a movie on, your kids got a show in the background, like listen to everything happening because spirit will come in here and like whew, use it up like a sign. So I put the link in there, save it to your Chrome. So here's what's interesting. The picture I just pulled almost looks exactly like the background of the photo he's in right now. Do you see it on my screen?
Yeah.
And the words, it says Switzerland, Europe, Historic Center, um, church tower, architecture. So I would have asked, like, okay, well, where was this taken? Or did you guys go there? Were you planning a trip? Are you planning a trip? Is there something significant to Switzerland? Or just the fact that it looks exactly, to me, that's validation that, like, okay, this looks exactly like he's even centered to the frame like this photo almost, right? Um, so that's one way that I like to use the random images if I don't have like a tarot deck available because it's simple and I don't have to say anything out loud. I could just hit the button. Nobody knows what I'm doing and they have no idea I'm over here like talking to spirit through something on my phone. So the next one that comes through is actually woman, mother, daughter, child, parents, female, happy Mother's Day coming up, maternity, family. Um, so the way that I would come into this, because we're tapped into his energy, I would say like, okay, either there's a message where he wants to send to his mother, right? Like, or if, depending on the situation, you're like, okay, did he have kids and did he have like blah, 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 blah. So you can go for what it feels. To me, when I saw like Happy Mother's Day in the little like blurb, to me that's a message coming through. Oh, he wants to come through because we do have, we have Easter coming up and Mother's Day coming up, and it's like, messages from the other side. Hey, since you're going to be, if you're going to talk to my mom, can you please tell her I said Happy Mother's Day as well? Or sometimes like spirit will show me balloons in my head if they have an upcoming birthday, or like if somebody's just passed or they're there to celebrate with the other person. um Did you guys get anything else?
I got fitness and gym, but then it was like girl and weight loss and woman. I'm like, wait, did he have a girlfriend? And then I hit it again. I'm like, okay, let's channel into him. And I got like supplements like gel capsules, medical, vitamins, healthcare, and stuff like that. Cure,
You know,
pharmaceutical.
I did get I did get a hit of like pharmaceuticals or pills or something once too. Like it was very brief though.
Yeah, I see fish oil on the generator.
I almost bought omega-3s yesterday.
Just eat salmon. Go get sushi. No, I'm kidding.
I will.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me ask. All right, so what is his energy in the tarot deck? Show me more about his personality. Let's see. So I got the Six of Wands in reverse, which it's interesting because it's more on the water, right? And to me, the visuals keep repeating, right? Like on the screen, how even the buildings look like they're sticking up by the water, and then the same thing here where it's the water and the sword sticking up. And then the other one that we got, I did take a screenshot um, with the Switzerland background. But what this card means, like, so in reverse, it's like stuck in the past or like leaving home and into, oh, I'm sorry. That's six of cups. My bad. S- Still stuck in past, but this is like running away from problems or feeling trapped in something. And so it was like, um, maybe on a soul level, like getting away from something or finally being free of something, or like if this was um like a sick body, but then now it's freedom from sickness. If it's somebody who felt trapped in their life and now that they're free to do, free to move about. Bottom of the deck, I did get the Knight of Cups. So again, more water energy. And Knight of Cups is like someone who does come in and present love and emotion, maybe a little immature at times, or somebody that might have, been charming or, very flirtatious but artistic and charming and in what's the word? Uh like graceful or tactful at things. So that's the tarot cards. And then I'm gonna pull the past life deck and see if anything comes through for past life connection stuff, because sometimes that can also tell us about um the connection between them. And then I'll let you know, Catherine, if we can start like validating or asking or digging into certain things.
Okay.
Because I like really for me, I have no idea like until we start validating. I'm like, all of this is just like bloop until someone goes, oh, this is what this means, or this is what this means. So it's like, oh, okay. Okay. So past life connection. Interesting. Lived at a bustling city surrounded by culture and diversity. Literally like in a city right there. You may have been rivals or competitors in a past life, bringing unresolved tension, but that could have come through this life as pushing each other hard to, improve, do better, something like that. And a nomadic lifestyle. So past life had a nomadic lifestyle, always on the move. And so maybe in this life, it's coming through as like finding roots or, maybe continuing that nomadic lifestyle, like an interesting timing too that you just moved. So, um, yeah, let's start with what we've dumped on you so far. So let's start there.
So the first thing this picture's in Zurich. And it's Zurich, Switzerland, yeah. So it's funny. Well, it's funny that you pulled up Switzerland because the first picture that came up for me was the money, like a chart about investments and money. Which when we went to Switzerland together, he was my partner, but for people who don't know, he was my partner who passed.
Oh,
And when we went to Zurich together, we wanted to move there. And we were talking about how the Swiss loved money. So it was all about
Yeah.
money and all that kind of stuff. So it is absolutely that picture's in Switzerland, and he's a Pisces. So
Oh, the water
the
sign and
water
the
energy,
Knight of
yeah.
Cups.
Yeah.
Oh, this makes so
And then
much sense.
whoever brought up the fitness, yeah, it was he was big into fitness. Like both of us together worked out together all the time in the fitness and with the pharmaceutical, like he struggled with mental health, kind of all that, like with the end and how he ultimately died was we don't really know, but some sort of like a medical type pharmaceutical issue is what they think ultimately caused him to pass.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why that would come up then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we didn't have a dog, but we had cats. So the Rainbow Bridge, every time I've channeled with him since he's passed, they're always like he's with animals on the other
And
side.
Pisces energy is
Mm.
super compassionate into animals and all
Yeah.
of that. And it could have even been like a childhood dog or something like that, but it
Yeah.
definitely felt animals with him.
Yeah. And then the
Mm.
Mother's Day, yeah, his mom, I'm very close to his mom still. So I a lot of times will, if I get reading with him, I'll get a message to give to his mom, or he'll say, "Tell my mom hi." And I spend a
That
lot of
makes
time with
sense.
her still. Yeah.
I'm gonna look up the lyrics to the song that had popped into my.
Oh, and oh yeah, the other thing that his dad was a classic rock DJ for his whole career. So
Stop
yeah,
it.
yeah, that's what when you said that song, I was like, oh yeah, that's a classic rock song. Yeah,
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be
yeah,
peace when you are done. Lay your
yeah,
weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. It's
yeah,
funny because I never actually like listened to the lyric or read them or paid
yeah.
attention
I'm
because
gonna have to
you're
listen to it now.
saying, yeah.
And I did think it was like what was coming to me. I knew he was on the list, so like I was trying not to think about this could be Weston, but 1984 had popped in my head, and that's the year he was born. And then as soon as he come up, like his personality, it was like, of course, you said he's charming. He's, "Oh, I'm gonna be first. I don't care how it is. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
first because I'm cool and I'm." So it scrolled up, and I was like, oh yeah, of course he's
Oh
first.
my gosh. Yeah, and I totally like ran like I saved them in my phone at random
Yeah.
whatever and I put them into a doc and I'm like, okay, like oh, it's open. And now the door, he's knocking on the door. All right, I'm on my workshop just be quiet, okay?
That was me.
Cool. All right. I'm glad. Super
Yes.
glad. Um,
Did he like Star Wars?
No, but we love Disney.
Oh,
he
okay.
loves
So
Disney.
yeah,
Yes.
yes,
Super cool.
yeah,
Okay. Well, thank you, Weston. I know ever since I met you, I always
yeah,
see the 007
yeah,
and literally like, or that day I texted you where I was like on Pinterest or something and the sponsored ad was like Westin hotels.
yeah,
And then it was like, have a good day. Like,
yeah.
whoa. Okay. I was like, okay, I have to share this, right? I have
Yeah,
to pass this on because this is like too many. Like, you know, and I don't want to like overwhelm you, right? You can be like, God, this
yeah.
girl won't stop sending. But it's like, no, he literally sends the signs all the time. So cool. All right. And then if we get anything else, I'll be happy to share. Okay, so our next one, how do I, oh, I think I need to close that. All right, so we'll just take another deep resetting breath. Thank you so much for showing up for us and for showing us signs and helping us develop our connection. So this next person that we want to bring in, we're going to breathe, set that intention. Everything that comes through is accurate and true. Help us to get the validation needed and to develop or deliver a healing message. Okay, so again, I forgot. I'm gonna mute this real quick just so I can tell Ezra be quiet. Hold on. And then go ahead and take a second, write down any hits that you get. Um, Male, female, heavy set, skinny, like whatever they feel like. Ask, like, imagine in your head, what would it feel like to hug them or hold them or to be in the same room or where would they take me if they were trying to tell me their life story? So give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna tell Ezra to turn his right. Let me write down my clues. All right. So let's move to our next photo. All right. Can you see her? I did not catch a name from her. Okay. All right. I got just like my quick little hits before we pulled up the photo. I actually kept hearing the word like I don't even know if it's a real word in Spanish or not, but I actually kept hearing like cafe music, but like a bossa nova type vibe, not like a Starbucks vibe, but like foreign cafe. And I kept hearing the word like cafecito or something like that. And in my head, I can actually like see a muumuu, like so see like the long, like a long dress or like a long pajama muumuu, whatever. My head started hurting, so that was interesting. That was something where it was just like it went from nothing to um, the pressure in my head shifted, um, and then beans and rice came through.
I got a pain on the right side of my head too.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. These ones I'll have to get the validation from because she was on earlier and then she had to jet. So I'll ask her or I'll send her the link afterwards so she can watch and we'll that's interesting because it was like sudden. Like it wasn't there when we were looking at Weston and it was not there. And then it was like, oh, very like a pressure almost. But the moo is funny. And I wonder if coffee is important. So let's see. Tarot, we'll ask what her energy is. Um, Names are not always my strong suit. Especially because there's a lot of people that don't have names that are in my frame of reference. So sometimes I might get it sounds like, or sometimes I'll get like, oh, it was, 2 syllables or this many syllables, or maybe I might just get like a letter. Um, I know the number in I keep seeing like 7 and 8 for her though, like balance between 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7. But then again, I never know like, okay, is that a date? Is that August 7th? Is that July 8th? Is that, a year 1987? Is it an age 87, 78? So let's see. I got Page of Wands in reverse for her energy. That's fire sign energy. So that's Aries, Leo, Sag. But when it's in reverse, this is someone who might be like very hasty or impatient. Uh, like having like an emotional meltdown type. So maybe they were an emotional mess, or she could have been emotionally. This is the hard part when you're doing this and you don't have like the validation right away. So we'll just take our notes, deliver them, see what we get. And then bottom of the deck, I got King of Wands. So maybe she might have crossed over and there could have been a partner or spouse or on the other side already or another king energy. But she got a lot of fire. So maybe she was actually an Aries, Leo, Sag. Um, and then let's pull up random image generator. We'll see if anything comes through. So I got a woman, violin. I got music, instrument, musical. So I wonder if music was really important to her. And then I got an alpaca. That's weird too. I of all things, like on Instagram this morning, like one of the random reels I saw was like them shearing an alpaca. And the lesson behind it was all these people thought that like it was like this abusive thing that people were doing. Like, oh my God, is it knocked out cold? Is it what's wrong with it? And they're like, no, it's like a spa day for them. They get once a year, they get sheared, and it's so that it helps them move. And so the way that I would take this energy of like this memory coming in about this video that I saw is like being able to roam and move freely because now it's not being held down by the weight of everything, right? So that's how I would have seen like, okay, maybe she had, a lot of problems or something and things that were weighing her down towards the end. And then this visual is coming up in my head because I'm triggered by the memory of the alpaca video. And so it's literally just like connecting dots to go, oh, okay. I wonder if at the end it was like relief, right? Getting things that held her back because now she can just roam freely, right? Did anybody else get anything else? If not, we're gonna look at the last couple ones real quick, and we'll just like knock through them.
I have a spirit messages oracle card, and I got the gratitude card, and then in my random, like a giving gratitude, and then in the random image generator, it came up with like helping, like maybe this was a very giving person, like she did a lot of like giving and helping in her life.
That would make sense.
Yeah,
That would make sense, and I like that deck.
yeah.
Um, if you can, if you would take a screenshot of if you get anything, and if you already moved past it, that's fine too.
Okay.
And I don't know if it'll let you drop it in the chat or not. I have no idea. I'm figuring out the Zoom thing as we go.
Yeah, I'll see if I can do it.
Okay. And if not, I'll just tell her. Okay. I'm just going to jump to the next photo because I think we kind of got it by now. Actually, we'll go here. Do you like being able to see what comes through before seeing the photo, or do you like seeing the photo and then feeling what comes through?
I like not seeing the photo first.
Okay. So let's do this next one. All right, we ready? Here we go. Okay. My first hits before we looked at the photo, I immediately saw a kitchen in my head and like flour, and I heard the song dun 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 dun, oh honey honey da 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 da, that one. And then I just got this feeling of being of someone that was just very like inviting. And then what was weird was in my body, I started feeling like I was retaining water in my body. Like I started feeling like I was swelling in a weird way. And then when we opened the photo, I got a hit to my chest. So then I started thinking, I wonder if that's like a pneumonia thing, if it's a chest plus a water swelling, or if it's like you know how some people like their limbs get really retained with water. Um, and then I randomly had either like an uncle or a brother or somebody that would have been in a similar generation or peer pop up and show up in her energy too. And then that's what I got from that.
So that's interesting that you said the uncle, because I like immediately I was sure this would be a man, because like a random great uncle of mine, I saw pipe smoke and he was a pipe smoker, and like a
Oh,
staircase and like a toy box, and I kept thinking like why am I thinking about my great uncle? But it was, yeah, that's when then you
so
said uncle,
maybe,
so that came through for me
yep.
too.
That's to me, that's definitely a sign of like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, maybe he was there to either greet her on the other side. So if he's been crossed longer or whatever, like he's
Mhm.
there, hey, I'm here for you, right? But that's exactly how it happens, where you see your own family members, because you weren't thinking about your great uncle. It's not like we were just talking
No.
about him or anything, right? So that's like literally how spirit uses it to like pop in. So I'll have to ask her if there was like an uncle, brother, or something. Someone male, definitely male, because it was like, oh, hi, you're here too. Like, um, anything else on her?
I got really tired all of a sudden. I don't know if it's just me or
That can
it
happen
just.
too. Nope, that can happen where all of a sudden you're totally normal and you're like, you'll feel drained because they could have felt drained towards the end of their life or low iron, anemic. Um, it like however it makes you feel could have been tied into to them.
Hmm.
Um,
And you
I'm
said the water,
curious.
the image generator came up with like surfer and ocean for
I
me.
and that was weird because I kept getting the feeling of water retention. And you know, I like I don't know the actual terminology for it, but I've seen it where people look like their legs get really
Edema.
swollen. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's what I'm thinking. Like, and I don't know what causes it, or I don't know if that's like a result of something, but um I'll
Like
have to ask her if any of that's like significant.
edema is a circulation thing, is a circulation type of deal. Like with congestive heart failure, where like, your
Which
fluid,
could have been the chest feeling I got if
Hmm.
there's like
yeah, fluids go down, circulates through your body, but it swells because it doesn't go up. Sometimes it comes with like an injury, like a blockage or construction zone in the freeway going up.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will definitely ask her about that. Okay. Um, the last one, this one is very special and uh she already had to leave earlier. My cousin, she's actually visiting, but she's visiting her daughter. They just had new babies and stuff. So I was like, send me a picture. I want to test them and see what they get. And so this will be the last one that we have for tonight. And since it is the last one, I know because I added it last minute. Okay, so let's breathe, come in, ask the energy, show us about yourself, your personality, your favorite things, what you were like. Okay, we're ready?
Mm.
Okay. I wanted to show you how it feels to tap into animals that have passed.
Oh,
That's the very first thing. Like I smiled and I saw like a big red heart.
I did
I
the
got
my bad.
even though I knew that this one was coming, I got a sudden shift of my energy of this like massive excitement. Like like
Yeah.
like that's the best way I could describe it, with like the petter like we're going for a walk, we're going for a walk.
Mm.
I saw a field, and then the generator had this image of a lady in like she looked like she's laying in a field. It was like woman, field, deadwood, pose, forest, beige, bliss, nature.
Ooh, a field.
Mm-hmm. Maybe
And
they're
you saw a
taking.
big red heart.
Yeah. Like a, and I was thinking, well, it was like a very loving, which would fit for a dog, right?
Yeah. Where it's
Like,
just pure unconditional love,
yeah.
right?
And it was just this like this big red heart kind of like spinning. And then I started to see a balloon off of it, and then it was like it's kind of weird. I don't know if this dog was very independent, like, because it sounds bad, but I don't know how to say it. Like, you know that picture where you see somebody with the balloon and they're floating off with the balloon and they're happy and they're giving everyone the middle finger because they're
Yeah.
happy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds bad, but it's not bad. Like, it's,
Carefree.
yeah, exactly. There, it's like, whatever. I'm just me. I'm doing me and
Yeah.
I'm not worried about everything else.
That's funny. I'll have to ask her if
Yeah.
that's how his personality was.
Yeah.
Um, I pulled two cards and I got two sets of flowers. And
Oh,
it's not a flower deck, so that's what's interesting, that both were flowers, but one says understanding and one says emotion. And it's funny because I've tapped into dog energy a handful of times. I've gotten one while he was still alive that he basically was telling me how tired he was and he was ready to go. And so I was like, I think it's okay to go now. Like, I don't think you need to keep holding on, right? And then he passed about a week later, I think. Um, and then it's funny because it's like they're still sentient beings and they can still communicate telepathically, but it's more simplified feelings. They're not these complex emotions. They're just like, I love you.
No.
Here it is, right? Like, here's how
yeah.
I feel. Um, but when I see stuff like the words that come through understanding and emotion, it's like him still being a service dog or of service from the other side,
I was
going
just about
through
to say that
this
too.
these emotions and understanding of even losing him, or even being on there to celebrate through the new things that are happening in their life, right? Um, let me
Was
see.
he a service dog?
I don't think an actual, but like to me, every dog or every animal is somewhat
Yeah.
of an emotional support animal to their human.
Oh yeah,
Like,
because you said emotionally understanding. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
so I got a Christmas picture, right? But what I'm noticing is like maybe he had a red ball or a white ball, because I'm looking at the ornaments more so than the actual Christmas itself. Or maybe he got a Christmas present or something that was like a ball, or that's just what it reminded me of because
Yeah.
it was
Or he
like,
like knocked down the tree a lot.
oh my God,
He has a blue
imagine.
ball in his
This
picture right
picture.
now.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'll have to ask him, maybe he had a red one though, because of the red heart and then the red.
Yeah.
Mm,
Um,
red
and then
carpet.
I got a picture of butterfly in nature.
Yeah.
And so to me, this is like, okay, I've transformed. He's simplifying. I'm with the butterflies. I'm with the wind. I'm with I'm here. Like, I'm in the field, I'm in nature. I'm when you're on a walk, I'm when you're having a quiet moment, like he's there at her side. Like, I can see in my head like him still at her feet kind of thing, right? So, all right. That is our practice for today. Was that helpful? Was that interesting?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
liked it.
It's super subtle and um I just try to keep it to like, hey, what do we see, think, hear, feel? Uh, and I'll try to get you guys these little checklists or whatever that I made. But
It's helpful when things kind of match because I hear things a lot and I'm like, I don't, that's so random. So I doubt myself because I'm like,
Mhm.
it's so random.
Keep your journal with you,
Yeah.
take all the notes. I, for one, like I talk to people on a daily basis about this kind of stuff. So if you are like picking up on signs and patterns and you just need someone to like share it with, feel free to like text me, DM me, whatever, because it's not weird to me. Like I talk
Yeah.
about this all day long.
I
It's
do.
like weird to talk about, yeah, it's weird to talk about death and dead people all
Yeah.
day long, but when they continually talk to me, it's not weird anymore. And so if you're getting like a slew of stuff, like send them my way because sometimes I'm seeing it too. And I'll be like, oh, that's why I'm seeing it. Right. So
Yeah.
um yeah, it's never a bother to talk like signs and synchronicities and stuff. Like I got friends that send me every time they see their phone and it's 444 or whatever. So um
Me.
yeah, and it's not just you. That's what's funny is like Daisy, who was on earlier, she's the same way where she sees like the repeating numbers a lot. I have some people that are heavy numerology people that see the numbers more. I see a lot of like words and specific stuff or like or I'll look down and I keep seeing hearts everywhere. Like, oh, that shadow is the shape of a heart, or that tree is the shape of a heart, or
Yeah.
so it's kind of cool. Yeah, I'll see you guys. So we have this one is on the 19th of every month. So the next one for May 19th will be on a Monday. Oh, I might have to either push the time though, because I'm shooting a conference that day, or I might have to move it to the 18th. So I'll let you know for sure because I forgot I have conference suite that week, and sometimes I'm like exhausted. So we might move it to 518 instead. But I will
Okay.
send an email out and all that um so that we're all on the same page and hopefully we'll be able to do it again. And I'll get
Cool.
some fresh photos and I'll get the validation. Um, I'll send this off to Daisy and Jean, who submitted, and Sarah, who submitted the dog. So we'll find out. And I'll let you guys know. Now I'm going to let Ezra come down and be loud again.
Aw.
So, all right.
Okay.
I hope this was helpful, and I'm really excited to be doing this with you guys because it helps keep me sharp as well to keep practicing and to keep doing this and to know like other people can do it too, and it's really simple and easy. So, let me know if any crazy things happen in the next couple days.
Perfect.
Always will.
All right.
Okay.
Let me
Hey.
stop recording. All right. You guys have a good night.